Meave now witnessed a sorry sight. A mass funeral for miners killed due to a tragic convergence of events. Their lead caskets lay upon the snow, wreaths of hop cones laid upon them in turn. The mourners waited for the diggers to finish. The digging was tough, for the ground was frozen. As the crunch and thud of picks and shovels continued, the dead miner's foreman scrambled onto a boulder to make a speech. Angry shouts and loud booing stopped him.
You knew it! You knew they'd smelled vapors, but you ordered them to keep digging till it blew up in their faces!
Make the daily quota whatever the cost, eh?
You've blood on your mitts, whoreson!
A mourner then picked up a chunk of frozen ground and threw it at the foreman. Blood spurted from the gash that appeared on his forehead. The first dirt chunk was followed by another, then by a rock, a brick. Meave realized that if she did not intervene, the foreman stood to be stoned to death. Meave resolved not to meddle in dwarven affairs. She did not know what Mahakam's laws would make of the situation, nor was it certain the accusations against the foreman were true. She spurred her horse and led her force away, quickly leaving the cemetery and the turmoil behind. Something had to be done quickly. Meave saw this clearly. She spurred her mount and rode into the cemetery, pushing through the throng, then stopping before the foreman, the horse shielding him from further blows.
Calm yourselves! Silence! His guilt cannot be decided here. It must!
Before Meave could finish her plea, a large rock thrown from the crowd struck her bosom, nearly knocking her from her saddle. Upon seeing this, her Lyrian escort lowered spears and drew swords and rushed at the angry mourners.
Shino Kren!
Isbel cried out. Her hands began to radiate a fierce light that blinded both dwarves and Lyrians alike.
Have you lost your minds, all of you together? Not had your fill of misfortune yet? Lower your arms at once.
Whether the power of Isbel's magic or the force of her appeal had the greater effect is difficult to say for certain. Either way, both sides suddenly lost the desire to fight. Meave breathed a sigh of relief, aware that if not for Isbel's intervention, a great amount of blood would have been spilled at that cemetery. Something had to be done quickly. Meave saw this clearly. She spurred her mount and rode into the cemetery, pushing through the throng, then stopping before the foreman, the horse shielding him from further blows.
Calm yourselves! Silence! His guilt cannot be decided here. It must!
Before Meave could finish her plea, a large rock thrown from the crowd struck her bosom, nearly knocking her from her saddle. Upon seeing this, her Lyrian escort lowered spears and drew swords and rushed at the angry mourners.
Back off! No one needs to die! Shite! There's sign of stopping! Didn't interfere! Take your business! Kid.
I'm afraid that's everyone, Your Grace.
The Queen managed to save the fore-dwarf from being lynched, at a price. Many Lyrians emerged from the rumble heavily wounded. Losses among the mourners were much greater. The gravediggers dug the new graves with ease, as the previously frozen ground, warmed by the spilt blood, gave in easily to their shovels. When it was over, seeing what had happened, the fore-dwarf fell to his knees and hid his face in his hands.
They had it right. Those miners died because of me. Because of my cock-up. And now, they're kin.
Though the dwarven elders thanked Meave for stepping in and preventing the four dwarves' lawless lynching, the Queen left the cemetery with a bitter taste in her mouth.
Knew there'd be a stink cause of this. Well, we may have gotten a wee bit carried away. 'Tis good you brought back some order.